Hey there, YouTube folks. I just want to do a quick video here on this hood here. This is a Cervini's. I think it's a 2.5-inch Cobra R style hood for our foxbody 88 T-top over here, and it came with it. It's pretty rough shape. You kind of see some damage there, some nasty holes drilled through from pins, and looks like that just had a pretty rough life. I went through and kind of circled some really bad areas, and then on the other side there's one of the inserts has been pulled out from the hinge, and we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. But first I want to take care of these two holes here from the pins that go all the way through. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by silver taping it from this side and then flipping it over, and we're gonna stuff the holes full of fiberglass, and then I'm gonna fix the zert back in the back too. And I think when you flip it over, we'll be able to grind it down a little bit and then patch it up with some Gorilla hair and kind of go from there. So I just wanted to go real quick. This is you find this hood online anywhere from $400 to $700 for a bolt-on style like this. And so I'm gonna try to fix it. I fixed a shaker hood scoop, or a shaker hood, from a wrecked Mach 1 I had, and I think that came out pretty good too. So we're gonna see if we can do this. There's a lot of damage over here. I don't know if you can really see it, but some nasty damage, and the underside has a good bit too. And well, we're gonna start off with that. All right, so you can kind of see how I prepped this spot here. It was some sandpaper. I actually hit it with a file too to keep it nice and flat. I kind of want to get down there and expose this. I routed this out a little bit with a step bit, and open the holes up from the screws too. I kind of want to get some stuff down in there. What I'm going to do now is cut a little piece of fiberglass mat to go down in the hole, and then I'm going to cover it with silver tape, and I've actually already done it on this side. You can kind of see where the divot is here, where the hole is, and again I put some fiberglass there. When I flip it over, I'm going to cut a couple layers of the woven mat here and kind of stick it over the whole area here, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour some epoxy resin in there. And I'm going to start by dabbing it in there first and getting it down into, again, this area here from the back first, and then putting some matting over top of that to strengthen it up. I don't know if I'm going to run hood pins, and if I do, they're not going to be like this, so change it up. There you go. You can kind of see down through here. We got some mesh down in there, and big thing on the back of this hood that I have to take care of. There's a couple nasty issues, but back here is in where that zert has popped out of the top here. So we got something I think is going to work. It's a little bit bigger than what came out, and start tackling that next. All right, here's the back here. These are just some cracks. I'm going to fill them with some Gorilla Hair Bondo mix, but I want to go through and make sure nothing structural comes through. On that Mach 1 hood I did, as I was painting it, I noticed a couple scratches kind of coming through. So I'm going to try to avoid that this time by reinforcing it a little bit better. Over here was the issue we had. So I actually put the zert into the material with all the resin packed in there, and then I bolted down the front and went ahead and used the clamp on the back. And then up here is the holes from, you can't really see a whole lot. These are the holes from the pins that were through the hood. I went ahead and packed just a couple layers of fiberglass over the holes and poured some resin in there, worked it in. Same thing on the other side. Again, small crack right here. Nothing too major, but I wanted it to put some mat over top of it just to make sure the cracks won't come through. The bottom isn't so bad. This is the majority of it. I think everything else I'll do with probably just Gorilla Hair Bondo mix, and shouldn't be any problems. And the top, a couple other looking a little worse. I'll take the dive in now. All right, YouTube, I went ahead and started grinding out some of the bad parts on the top of the hood. I did it already on the bottom of the hood and laid some fiberglass in here already. You can kind of see some areas here. You can't see too good. Anywhere where the crack went down actually into the fiberglass, we're to take down kind of low. And you can see here, it looks like this has had a couple sets of pins in it before. And then areas like this is where, again, the cracks are actually down into the fiberglass. So I went ahead and taken it down a little bit more. And we're actually gonna lay some matting down in these low areas here. So you got some area here that I need to address still. And this is pretty much this is what this was. You can see some cracking that kind of made it down through here a little bit. I don't know if it comes in the camera very well, but I'm gonna go ahead and grind this out, these last couple spots. And I'm gonna go ahead and lay some fiberglass in. It's kind of the corner I reconstructed here. It doesn't quite fit the car. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work to it. Okay. All right, here we've got some spots. I've wiped this down now with some lacquer thinner too. You can kind of see there's a hole here that was filled with some gray kind of body filler. I know it looked like maybe JB weld or something. Then you can see up here, this little spot, which is where there's been a fracture. And same thing here. That's why I went through down in these areas here. See some big cracking here. This will get probably 2 layers of matting on top of it, and then Bondo glass over top of that, and then finish it off with some Bondo. Back here along the cowl edge, you can see this was the old body filler too. Left a little bit of that behind. It does feel kind of hard for being like a JB weld, but definitely could be just a real gray Bondo. And then this crack right there. Again, here's some of this body filler that was used last time. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the rest of the way. Get as much damage out as we can so we can get all the new fiberglass to stick to that. And you see it kind of went down in layers too. So down here, this hard spot here could probably get even 3 layers. Across the edge here, maybe 1 here, 1 out over the whole patch, 1 out a little bit further, and then 1 out the same size, which I'm going for. And then up here again, you can see where there were 3 sets so far of 1, 2, and 3 sets of pins that have been in this thing before. So I bet this hood has a lot of tails. And cheap. I'm doing this on a budget. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the beat up hood that was on this car, and we're gonna give it some new life again. You know, the red looked actually pretty good when I first cleaned it off, cleaned the black off of it. Just wiped it down with some lacquer thinner. Most of it came off, and then hit it with some 120 grit. But as you keep going, this spot here, kind of see this as you wiped it down with lacquer thinner here, and this stuff kind of really showed through. And I want to get everything nice and clean in order for all the new fiberglass to stick, and get it all reinforced so it doesn't crack again. And then it's just body work from here. All right, here's the Frankenstein ugly hood. Went ahead, you can see this has a couple layers of the mesh here, fiberglass mesh, kind of double stacked on top of each other. There's 1 whole layer here. Kind of see this is the black marker that I used to trace around where I was going to go and then cut it out. Everything here has at least 2 coats of mesh laid down, and some of these bad areas up here where this hole was has about 4 layers all the way down through. And already went on the other side of the hood and kind of ground all this down already. Sanded it down with some 60 grit, and I'm going to do this, and kind of tell by the painted surface, as long as you keep all the you get all this off with any painted surfaces, you know, when you go to do the next layer, there's be some feather out area. And it's the corner that I didn't kind of get right. Needs to kind of come out this way, so I kind of built it up a little bit. I'm going to backfill it as well when I flip it over again. And so we've been missing a couple steps here, but check it out, there's a big old hole over here too, after I got in there and got all that filler out. Again, this has, I think, 3, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 here, and kind of spreads out. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding on this. Okay, so I just went ahead and applied some Bondo glass to everything here. Tried to get like the shape of these edges as best as I could for a first round. It's just some that I had left over. Gonna have to go get some more of this. Put it on kind of heavy where it needed to be, and kind of light where I thought it needed to be too. And it's all gonna work out. I think I'm gonna keep working this with the palm sander. And I think the next layer to go on is probably gonna be like a regular body filler Bondo. And then I'm gonna work that probably by hand, maybe with the sander a little bit. Might be a couple coats too. I'm not very good with this stuff yet. It's been a while since I've worked with it too, so get used to it. So there's just a look. We're gonna kind of try to start making that edge there again. I think I'm off a little bit on this side here, but it's just to start making it since the divots were, you know, kind of bad through there, the broken fiberglass. And it's probably 3 on this side and 4 on this side of layers of fiberglass on different shapes over top of the big cracks. And then finishing it up here, well, not finishing up, but the next layer is Bondo glass. And again, this is a fiberglass resin with chop mixed in. Still uses a cream hardener like Bondo instead of just a regular liquid hardener. And started taking this corner up a little bit. I know it looks like a mess right now. And what it is, if you look down on here, I was kind of missing the way this kind of comes out this way a little bit. So I had to build it out a little bit. You can see on this other side, kind of has that shape out. So I missed that last time where I had it just straight across. So trying to get that kind of back a little bit. Does look like I'm probably gonna have to add a little bit more to it. So that's gonna be it. Until I go get some more Bondo glass. We'll let this dry, we'll work it a little bit and see where we're at. I do have Bondo glass the back side, which I did sand down as well. And just some nice areas that I'd like a little bit more reinforcement in so it doesn't crack later down the road. All right.